Hello everyone, Michael here, part-time gamer, full-time dad, with another too long didn't read guide for World of Warcraft. This time on the block, it's going to be the Windwalker Monk, which I'm personally excited about as this is what I play for my main. Quick warning before we do start, this is simply a basics guide and my recommendations for a new Windwalker looking to get a feel for the class. As an aside to that, this guide will not take into account legendaries which can seriously impact your playstyle. The Windwalker excels at AoE burst damage, but since that's very situational, I will focus more on single target DPS. With that being said, we're going to start off with the suggested talents as these will impact your playstyle the most. At level 15, I would suggest Eye of the Tiger as it is only slightly behind Chi Wave as far as single target damage and is a passive, damage, and self-heal ability. Level 30 is entirely up to you as this is your mobility pick, however I personally use Celerity because hey, I absolutely adore rolling. Level 45 is a choice between Energizing Elixir, which in truth is the better talent, and Power Strikes, which is by far the easier talent to manage. With that said, I would suggest Power Strikes because it's passive and has been proven to only be slightly behind Elixir. Your level 60 talent is some form of crowd control, and with that I personally get the most out of Leg Sweep for the stun. Level 75 is your utility row, and of the three options, Healing Elixir seems to be the best all around as it works in many different scenarios and has a slightly passive element to it, in that if you drop below 35% health it will automatically trigger. At level 90, your default here will be Hit Combo as it's the easiest to manage. And finally, your level 100 talent should be Whirring Dragon Punch. Serenity has fallen behind recently, and the damage on Chi Orbit is just far too low. Now onto the stats. You're going to want to look for these stats in the priority order that I'm going to list them. A Windwalker's primary stat is obviously going to be agility and should be on all of your gear aside from jewelry. As far as secondary stats are concerned, you're going to aim for mastery, then mastery, then mastery. Now, truth be told, you're going to aim for mastery, then crit, then versatility, then haste. Mastery is just the biggest DPS gain per point and thusly should be funneled. For your gems, you're going to want to use a 200 agility in one socket and 150 mastery in the remainder. For your relics, you're going to want to aim for Fists of the Wind multiple times over if possible, with Rising Winds coming in second. Those are pretty much the main two you're going to aim for, but if all else fails, Tiger Claws, Strength of Zun, and Inner Peace all have their place and should be sought after in that order. Enchants, your enchants are going to look something like this. For your neck, you'll want Mark of the Hidden Satire for the DPS proc, 200 agility on your cloak, and 200 mastery on your rings. Provided you are only at absurd rates of mastery, would you ever think to change the enchants on your rings. For your consumables, you'll want to use Flask of the Seventh Demon and increase the agility, the Fish Brill Special for the DPS proc, and the Old World Potion for that added DPS. Alternatively, you can use Nightborn Delicacy Platter for the 375 mastery instead of Fish Brill, and the Potion of Prolonged Power for DPS. These are both only slightly behind their higher damage counterparts and are significantly cheaper. So the basic playstyle of the rotation is that you essentially don't want to use the same ability twice in a row unless absolutely necessary, ensuring that you're using key abilities as soon as possible once they're off cooldown. The priority order for your abilities is going to be Fist of Fury, Strike of the Windlord, which is your artifact ability, Whirring Dragon Punch, and then weaving in Tiger Palms as that's your main chi generator. Rising Sun Kick and Blackout Kick are your chi dumps, with Rising Sun being the priority. As for the cooldowns, we have Storm, Earth and Fire, Touch of Death, and Touch of Karma. It's best to try and time your Storm, Earth and Fire so that you can get at least one Strike of the Windlord, one Fist of Fury, one Whirring Dragon Punch, and at least 2 Rising Sun Kicks in while it's active in order to maximize its effectiveness. Touch of Death should be used on cooldown, and Touch of Karma can be used to absorb a bit of mechanics damage, but if you feel you don't burden your healers enough already, just use it on cooldown for the small damage proc. And with that, we reach the end of this too long didn't read guide for the Windwalker Monk. If this was at all helpful, consider hitting that like button, leave a comment if you're feeling frisky, get subscribed for more videos like this in the future, and hit me up on Twitter at PTGamer_FTDad. I would love to hear from you. Thanks for watching, and may your fist strike with the fury of the wind.